Well, we start with transfers. With less than a month to go until the Premier League returns, there's a potential blow for champions Arsenal as they look to strengthen their squad. So we're joined by Dharma Sheth, who can tell us more. Right, before that, there's been some breaking news in the last hour or so. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is about Vinicius Junior. And Sky Sports News understands that, as it stands, he looks set to stay at Real Madrid. And that's because Real Madrid have got no intention of selling Vinicius Junior.
Vinicius Junior to Arsenal. Yes, the Real Madrid superstar. A player who has won the Champions League, scored on the biggest stages, and terrorized defenders across Europe, could now be at the center of a stunning transfer situation. Reports are claiming Arsenal are closely monitoring the Brazilian winger as uncertainty grows around his future at the Santiago Bernabeu. Mikel Arteta wants a world-class attacker. Andrea Berta is watching every development. And if Real Madrid and Vinicius Junior fail to reach an agreement, Arsenal could find themselves facing a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Because this would not just be a transfer, this would be Arsenal announcing to the world they are ready to compete with Europe's giants. Because while the contract situation at Real Madrid is what has created the headlines, the reason Arsenal fans are so excited is simple. Vinicius Junior is not just another attacking player. He is a game changer. He is the type of player who can completely transform the identity of a team, and that is exactly why Arsenal would be interested. The player Arsenal have been missing. For years, Arsenal have been building one of the strongest squads in European football. Mikel Arteta has created a team built on discipline, intensity, pressing, and tactical intelligence. But there is always one thing that separates very good teams from truly elite teams. A superstar who can produce something out of nothing. A player who can decide a Champions League knockout game with one moment of magic. A player who makes defenders panic before the ball even arrives. That is what Vinicius Junior brings. His explosive acceleration. His ability in 1-versus-1 situations. His confidence running directly at defenders. His movement behind the defensive line. These are qualities that cannot simply be coached overnight. They are rare, and Arsenal know that. Why Arteta would love Vinicius Junior? Mikel Arteta has always valued players who can create danger in multiple ways. He wants attackers who are not predictable, players who can attack spaces, players who can win individual battles. Players who can create moments when the tactical plan reaches a dead end. Vinicius fits that profile perfectly. Imagine an Arsenal attack with Vinicius on one side, Bukayo Saka on the other, and a world-class striker leading the line. That would not just be a strong attack. That would be one of the most feared attacking units in world football. Defenders would have no easy decisions. Double-team Vinicius, and Saka gets space. Focus on Saka, and Vinicius attacks one-on-one. Try to defend both, and Arsenal's striker gets opportunities. That is the kind of attacking problem elite clubs create. The financial reality. Could Arsenal actually afford him? Now, this is where the conversation becomes more complicated. Because signing Vinicius Junior would not be a normal transfer. This would be a record-breaking level operation. Real Madrid would not simply allow one of their biggest stars to leave for a cheap price. The valuation would likely be enormous. We are talking about a player who has scored in Champions League finals, won major trophies, and has become one of the faces of global football. Any potential deal would require serious financial commitment. But Arsenal are no longer the same club they were several years ago. The club have changed their approach. They are now willing to invest heavily when they believe a player can elevate the entire project. The signings of major talents in recent windows have shown that Arsenal are prepared to compete at the highest level. And a player like Vinicius would represent exactly that ambition. Andrea Berta's role behind the scenes. One name that could become very important in this story is Andrea Berta. Arsenal's sporting director has built a reputation for identifying opportunities in the market and working behind the scenes. At elite clubs, transfers are not always about making public moves first. Sometimes the biggest deals begin quietly.